Chapter 4 Merchant and the Genie. Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant. One day, having to go a long way from home, he mounted his horse, taking with him a small bag in which he had put a few biscuits and some bread and butter, because he had to pass through a dense forest where no food was available. He arrived at his destination without any troubles. After having finished his business, he set out on his return journey. On the 5th day of his journey, he was tired and wanted to take rest. He found a fountain of sparkling clean water at the foot of a large mango tree. He dismounted, fastened his horse to a branch of the tree, and sat by the fountain to eat some of the bread, butter, and biscuits. Then he drank some water from the fountain, washed his face and hands, and wiped it dry with a towel. There was a loud roaring sound. The merchant was terrified. Suddenly he saw an enormous genie coming towards him with a sword in his hand. "Arise," he cried in a deafening voice, "and let me kill you as you have spoilt the water of my fountain." The merchant, quite as much terrified at the ugly face of the monster as at his words, answered him tremblingly, "I have just quenched my thirst. How can I have spoilt the water of the fountain?" "I shall kill you as you have dirtied the fountain," repeated the genie. "When you arrived here, did you not sit down on the ground, and did you not throw pieces of bread and biscuits in the water while eating them?" asked the genie. "Yes," said the merchant, "I certainly did so." "Then have you made the water dirty? Now from where shall I and my children drink water?" said the genie. "So I shall kill you." "Ah, please forgive me," cried the merchant. "I will have no mercy on you," answered the genie. "But I did so quite unintentionally, so I request you to spare my life," pleaded the merchant. "No," said the genie, "there does not arise the question of intentionally or unintentionally." And so saying, he seized the merchant by his arm, threw him on the ground, and lifted his sword to cut off his head. The merchant, protesting his innocence, bewailed his wife and children, and tried pitifully to avert his fate. The genie with his raised sword waited till he had finished, but was not in the least touched. When the merchant saw that the genie was determined to cut off his head, he said, "One last wish I ask you to grant me. Kindly grant me a little delay, just a short time to go home and bid my wife and children farewell, and to make my will. When I have done this, I will come back here, and then you can kill me." "But," said the genie, "if I grant you the delay you ask for, I am afraid that you will not come back." "I give you my word of honor," answered the merchant, "that I will come back without fail." "How long do you require?" asked the genie. "I ask you for a year's grace," replied the merchant. "I promise you that exactly after 12 months' time I shall be waiting under this tree to give myself up to you." On this, the genie left him near the fountain and disappeared. A cloud arose, and there was no trace of the genie. The merchant, having convinced the genie, mounted his horse and went on his way home. When he arrived home, his wife and children were very happy to see him. They warmly welcomed him back home with the greatest joy. Instead of embracing them, he began to cry so bitterly that they soon guessed something terrible had happened with him. "Tell us, dear, what has happened?" asked his wife. "Alas," answered her husband, "I have only a year to live." Then he told them what had happened between him and the genie, and how he had given his word to return at the end of a year to be killed. When they heard all this, they all were very sad and started to weep bitterly. The next day the merchant began to settle his affairs. First of all, he paid his debts. He gave presents to his friends and large alms to the poor. He provided for his wife and children. He went to the temple and offered his prayers. Then he went to a hermit whom he often visited to seek his blessings. When he reached the hermit's hut, he saw him meditating under a tree. He waited patiently for the hermit to finish his meditation. When the hermit opened his eyes, he saw that his disciple was sitting near him. "Why are you looking so sad and terrified?" asked the hermit. The businessman told his entire story. The hermit closed his eyes for some time. Then he said, "Now that this is the case, you shall have to go to the genie as promised. But I can assure you that because of your honesty and devotion, you will be saved in some way or the other." Hearing this, the businessman was relieved, but yet he was terrified. The years soon passed away, and he planned to return back as promised. When he tried to say goodbye, he was quite overcome with grief, and with difficulty tore himself away. At length he reached the place where he had first seen the genie on the very day that he had promised. He dismounted and sat down at the edge of the fountain, where he awaited that genie in terrible suspense. While the businessman was waiting for the genie, an old man came. He said to him, "May I ask, brother, what has brought you to this place where there are so many evil genii about? To see these beautiful trees, one would imagine it was inhabited, but it is a dangerous place to stop." The merchant told the old man why he was obliged to come there. He listened in astonishment. He said, "I will pray that God helps you," and went on his way. The businessman soon saw in the distance a thick smoke-like cloud of dust. This smoke came near and nearer and nearer, and then all at once it vanished. And the genie, with a sword in his hand, was standing in rage. "So you have come as promised." Taking him by the arm, he said, "Get up and let me kill you." The merchant still tried to convince him that he was innocent, but the genie was not ready to listen to anything. Now the merchant was sure that his end had come, so he folded his hands to say his last prayers. As he had said the last word of his prayer, a miracle happened. The angel of the fountain appeared. She was looking very beautiful. The angel, addressing the genie, asked, "Why do you want to kill this gentleman?" The genie told the entire episode. Hearing this, the angel, expressing shock, said, "Who says this water is impure, and what rights do you have on this water without my permission? What makes you think that this water is only for you and your family?" "It has been for ages," replied. "Yes," said the angel, "but only because I had permitted your forefathers to use this water." Then she said, "Do you know that it is only because of this gentleman that I and my children are alive today? Had he not thrown the bread and biscuits in the water a year ago, we would have died of hunger." The genie screamed at the angel, "So what? Do not interfere in my business." "All right, if that is your attitude, then listen carefully to me. All the water of the fountain is my property. If I can allow you and your forefathers to use this water, then at any time I can disallow you also. From now onwards, the moment you and your family members touch this water, the entire fountain will go dry. If you spare this man, then you will be able to use the water. Now go ahead and kill this gentleman. Then you and your entire family will die out of thirst." The genie did not believe the words of the angel. He rowed and moved towards the water. As he touched the water, the fountain became dry like a desert. The angel smiled at the genie and said sarcastically, "From today onwards, you and your family members will drink sand." The genie realized his mistake and asked the angel to forgive him. He promised her that he will never repeat this mistake in future. The angel said, "Genie, always share whatever God has given you. God has made this world and all its amenities for each and every one." Soon the fountain was again full of sparkling clean water. The angel and genie both vanished in the air. The merchant remembered the words of the hermit. He thanked the angel of the fountain and God and mounted his horse to return to his house.